Yeah. Leave comments. Go to LouLombardiRocks.com. Leave comments. If you say something mean, we will repeat it. Hey, man, I can take being called an asshole.
People in Radioland, please do not, or not Radioland, but Facebook land, please do not message me while I'm on the podcast. It seems like everybody starts messaging me around 9 o'clock on Tuesday.
You should just stop taking, some of the people, God damn your microphone.
That's not my fault.
Yes, it is. Is it Nicole? You know Nicole Smiley?
Yeah.
Her and a couple of other, I understand why this is a thing for ladies, because you're probably getting dick pics and all kind of.
I
bullshit.
haven't been, but still.
So a lot of them were like, just totally turn that off.
Yeah.
They won't do any DMs on Facebook or Twitter because it's just like
out of control.
They get inundated. The gentlemen out there, gentlemen, you are not representing the male gender very well. You're proving the stereotype that we're pigs. There he is. What's going on?
And a sound, man.
You don't need sound. Do you need sound? Can you
right
hear me
there,
now?
I had it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Paul from Verizon. Good. You know how much money that guy makes? I looked that up the other day because I have nothing but time on my hands. That dude makes a lot of money doing them commercials. Being annoying pays a lot of money. I'm going to try it myself.
Being annoying makes a lot of money.
Man, I wish I would have known that.
Lily, that's the problem. You're not annoying enough. You're banking on them giant kajungas, but it really should be just being annoying. Right?
I could be annoying. I could do it.
Oh, Lord, come on. Paste that in there. Oh, okay. Now I have a cat now. Oh, God, I got a freaking cat.
I thought you already had a cat. Crosby or Bill Cosby or somebody.
Yeah, Cosby. She's not supposed to be here during the podcast.
Hi, baby.
Oh, I thought you had another cat.
No. These freaking monsters. Hold a second. I need to copy my stream key. Because I'm going to go on the my regular Facebook feed too. Everybody, just give us a second. There's no way I can do this until I actually start the podcast. So I apologize to everybody. Because security things have Facebook creating a separate stream feed on your personal thing every time you use it. And I need to get it to talk to Restream. So just 1 second. Let me paste that biatch in there. Hit save. The Jeopardy theme is playing in your head as this is going. So just... You got it, Keith. Keith will go ahead and sing the Jeopardy theme for you, everybody. So we're just going to be a rock and rant tonight about all these songs and how the radio fucking killed. If you think about it, we'll talk about this, but if you think about it, this is kind of what I think killed classic rock and killed rock in a lot of ways, is just the playing the same shit
over and over again.
And over, whether you like it or not. Fucked up. Okay, I have too many things in my face here. So let me get these things out of my face. I have too many things in my face, Keith.
I say that once I go to strip clubs. You can never know who to pass the love to. There's too many things in my face.
I love it. Oh, you kids are just crazy tonight. Okay, who's ready to do a podcast?
Me.
Who's ready to do a podcast?
Me.
I think I will come aboard. Yes.
All
Captain.
right. Get on the Loudini train tonight. All right, guys. Check. Make a crazy sound. All right, here we go. I got Keith, I got Lily, I got me. Keith, say something.
Something.
Here we go. Okay, let's do it.
Roll it.
This week on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, did radio kill rock and roll? We're going to be talking about how these amazing classic songs got absolutely ruined for most of us because of the frickin' radio. Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Hello, boys and girls, moms and dads, children of all ages. We are back with the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. It's almost Halloween, isn't it? Is next week our Halloween show? Oh, Lord Jesus. It's going to get crazy.
Yes, I'm going to say yes.
It is.
Lily's losing her alcohol. This is Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, LouLombardiRocks.com. Just go there. You can find out all the stuff about us. Wolf's Customs. Wolfies. We love the Wolf's Customs. Yes, we do. Yeah. Very good. There's not German, but for some reason I'm feeling very German tonight. Wolf's Customs. Go to wolfscustoms.online and get a custom finish on your guitar. They do amazing work. We've been telling you guys about it. Go do it. A lot of musicians listen to this podcast. We know because that's really only people we do know, right, Keith, or other musicians? So people put up with us.
That goes to show you what, my taste in people sometimes is a little,
a little off.
a little off. I should be hanging out with good people, but musicians are just, they corrupt my brain.
I know. That's why we ended up doing a podcast. But, go to wolfscustoms.online. They do great customizing of whatever kind of instruments you play. Of course, I'm a guitar player. Keith's a drummer, so they can do guitars, they can do drums, they do all kind of stuff. So check them out. Hit up Chris Thunderwolf Dots and tell him Loudini sent you. Shout out to Rock Rage Radio. They play great guitar-driven rock, and they are not playing the same crappy songs that you've been listening over and over, right, Lily?
Right.
Because speaking of Rock Rage Radio, who do we have in the house with us tonight?
Oh, me.
We've got Lily V6, who is a jock on Rock Rage Radio. You've been on there for a while now. Can you give folks a kind of overview of what Rock Rage Radio is? We always thank them because we're on the station too, but I think maybe you could kind of describe it a little bit to people in a couple sentences.
Rock Rage Radio is an online radio station that plays mostly unsigned bands and some mainstream stuff. There's shows 24/7. It's free to listen to on your app, rockrageradio.com. And you will hear new stuff all the time from all genres of music. They even have Country Rage Radio. So
Country Rage Radio. Well, that's separate. That's a separate app.
It's still with yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so much different things, and they do countdowns on some shows. I do mostly rock and metal on my show, and I do show announcements, interviews, and just all kinds of stuff. So you won't be bored.
Yeah, it's yeah. So you guys definitely want to check that out. We've been a part of the Rock Rage family for a couple years now, and I don't think we've ever just sort of sat down and explained it to people that maybe don't listen on Rock Rage. They catch us on our Facebook Lives or they listen on Spotify or whatever. So that's what you guys check it out, and it's free. Spotify is $9 a month or something like that. Rock Rage Radio is a
completely free.
It's completely free. I'm not knocking Spotify. There's always a knock against Spotify. I'm just saying.
If you want to do something different.
Do something different.
There it is.
And it don't cost you no money. And speaking of just saying, we got Keith the Hawk Hawkins with his tattoos on display. So I see the one.
Yes. Yes, this was these are fake. They will come off after the Halloween season. I'm going to peel these off as we speak.
That one says Nickelback. I'm just kidding.
One says Nickelback, and my left ass cheek says I love Kiss.
I knew it.
I will not show you that here because it's a family show.
Fuck right. Okay. We are talking.
Besides, the blinding glare will make you go blind.
No sun on that butt, huh?
No.
No sun on that. No butt sun. Sun butt.
No, I'm like one of them dudes. I just got cover up, man, because I just don't, I don't got it like that. So.
I feel you, brother. I feel you. Anything opening up down there in New Orleans?
Slowly but surely, maybe one day. I had several rehearsals this week, and the things are starting to tighten up some bands. I mean, it's bands that, playing music that I really, probably a lot of these songs on this list, but I mean, I have to do what I have to do, and sometimes sacrifices need to be made, and in the name of all that's holy in rock and roll, I will play the drums live again someday.
Okay. All right, guys. So tonight's topic is these songs, and we're just going to kind of run through different lists. We put ran a post on Facebook, and I haven't even started drinking. A post on Facebook asking folks to name some of these songs, and it was very interesting. Some of the songs that people named were actually some songs that I don't ever hear.
I saw the list. Yeah.
But a lot of them were. My list contains songs that I personally am just want to vomit when I hear, but also contains songs that I think a lot of people that I still can deal with, but I think a lot of people are like,
just
no,
can't. They're over it.
So I sympathize. I'm being empathetic with y'all. So that is what we're going to be getting into tonight. So let's just start, and we're just going to kind of go around the room and talk about them and have a good time with this. It's a kind of very lighthearted, slightly directionless podcast. This isn't a big countdown or anything like that. There's plenty of those on the internet. You're just going to get to hear us give our expert opinions because we are experts. You know why are we experts? Because we said we're freaking experts.
And
that's
the way
why,
it is.
jerk off.
And boom goes the dynamite.
So, ladies first.
Where's that one been? We haven't heard that for a while.
I like to spread it around a little, like
All
thinly.
right, cool. I was used to it like at least once a week.
Right.
Yeah, but we haven't heard it in a while. So yeah, it's almost like
It's like those songs.
The friggin' Haley's comment. I was waiting for it to come around again. You know?
It's like those songs. I don't want to overdo it. So okay, I'll just start with a bang here. "Freebird" by Skinner. Obviously an overplayed song. It's like their signature song, so that's why it's overplayed, I guess. Always in the finale. When it's live, it's over 14 minutes long, so that's the time I go get a drink or go to the bathroom or
So you can't
leave early.
You wait, wait. There hasn't been a concert in like a year, and you still would go to the bathroom during Freebird.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Not if I heard it live.
No, I've heard it live a lot of times.
Okay.
So. I've seen them a lot. This or I leave early if it's the final song because traffic. But yeah, that's one of the ones that's on my list.
I have Freebird. Freebird and Stairway to Heaven were always like there was a you're from Pittsburgh and so is Keith. The Memorial Day 500. Remember that, Keith? And for many years when they first started that, it was always like which song was going to be number one and which was going to be number two. Was it going to be Stairway or Freebird? And they were neck and neck for years. I don't know if they still do that on that radio station or not. It would be interesting to hear, like all these years later, what would be the top 5 songs. I'd be curious. I'm going to kind of keep with the Skinner theme here. Mm-hmm. Because my list is a unholy trinity of Freebird, Sweet Home Alabama, and Give Me 3 Steps.
Those are all done. Those are all like I'm over.
I'm done. No. Yeah, I've heard them enough. And if I buy, it's the songs. It's not that these are bad songs. I think what we said at the beginning was these are like great songs, but radio, come on. Right? Give Me 3 Steps.
There are other songs.
And that's the shame of it, right? Aren't there so many other great songs that we would like to hear get some legs and kind of get going? No, can't do that. Better hurry up and get back to something that people know, like Sweet Home Alabama. Yawn, done.
Played in all the bars too.
Oh God, just so over. So those are so Lily and I were on a Skinner kick. What do you got, Keith?
Letting these dogs off because I'm not that song. I'm just actually letting actual 2 dogs off because they're killing me. They have all goddamn day to go take a shit, and then all of a sudden, when I'm ready to do something, they want to go out and do their thing. It's like the world fucking revolves around these 2 Boston Terriers. It's ridiculous. I don't even like the Patriots. Let's just go on something else. Anyway, I'm going to
the dogs out.
I'm going to make a little disclaimer here first. Some of these songs are great songs, I guess. Some of these songs I want to name are by bands I don't even personally like, but I've heard them too many times, and a lot of people do like them. I'm in a definite minority. We're going to go with the Kings of Metal, Metallica, Enter Sandman. That shit don't need to be played no more.
and I think this is a great example, Keith. That band has a lot of great music. A lot of great songs.
Of course, and they actually, I do like that album. Sorry to all the diehards out there, but I think that album really put them over into, like, it made metal more accessible to a lot of people. Yeah. We all had that discussion before. I'm not saying it's their masterpiece. I do like some of the songs on it, but that album being so more commercial sounding, there's songs on that album that I could never hear again and I'd be okay. Enter Sandman is just one example. There's several songs on that. Good for them because they laugh all the way to the bank, but there's several songs on that album that get played a ton. And Enter Sandman just being probably the most annoying of them all. I mean, but you still hear to this day. You still hear "Unforgiven" and "Nothing Else Matters." All that's their big power ballad they did. I mean, it's one of those things where they have so much better songs, and it's like I even find myself talking to the radio. Not thinking that it's going to answer me, but I find myself talking to the radio when it comes on the air, and I'm like, they wrote other songs.
Legit.
But that's why we're having this conversation due to the fact that God forbid we hear like Whiplash or something off of Ride the Lightning. I mean, it's something. Or Master of Puppets. I hear Master of Puppets once in a while on Dee Snider's House of Hair, which is on in New Orleans on I think Saturday nights at 9:00.
Well, radio is really dead, and this is one of the reasons why. And if you listen to satellite radio, you can kind of hear some of those other great Metallica songs. You can hear some of the other Skynyrd music that
I hear music that I never hear on regular radio, on satellite radio all the time. Right.
So it's proof positive that people are interested in hearing other music. They don't have to just hear Enter Sandman. I think that I think it's a dying form of media, just like broadcast television is. The internet came along and is kind of wiped all that out, and they just are not catching up with. What's the line from Aliens? I don't know if you've been keeping up with current events, man. We just got our asses kicked. I mean, that's exactly what's going on. And nobody, they're just like in the we've always done it. We're just going to keep on doing it. Okay, goodbye then. And people will listen to Rock Rage Radio and podcasts and satellite radio, and you can just go do whatever you like. Absolutely, yeah. Enter Sandman, dude. Totally, I'm totally with you on that one, brother. All right, we go back to Lily V6. What you got?
I'm going to go with Ace of Spades, Motorhead. Literally, it's the only one I ever hear by Motorhead. Again, considered their signature song by everyone but Lemmy himself, by the way. He actually thinks their best work was everything after 1982. But this is the one I always hear. I would like to hear Killed by Death every once in a while. That'd be great. Or Damage Case would be nice to hear. But I never hear anything other than Ace of Spades. So
I got a question. Yes, me in the back. Can I have a question? I mean, this is something that I hate to throw a monkey wrench in the plan, but what station do you hear this on? Because if I heard Ace of Spades, I'd be fucking.
Yeah, I've never heard it on broadcast radio. Maybe.
I mean, I'm
once.
not trying to if you hear it a lot, then it's great. But if we're talking about the actual commercial, I'm talking WDBE. I would never have heard it on that. So if you're,
I hear it on
station,
DVD.
Let me know what station so I can maybe tune into it.
That's one of those ones I've heard on maybe when they used to have the Metal Shop or whenever they would do a Deep Cuts weekend or something like that. But I never hear that.
They do play it. It's actually the oddest times that they play it though, be early in the morning or afternoon. They never play it at night, which is something I would expect them to play at night. But yes, I hear it, this is the one I hear.
Or do you think maybe it's just that you're a Motorhead fan and you wish they would at least play something
maybe
else?
That could be it.
Well, I mean that's another legitimate argument as well. Motorhead does have other songs than Ace of Spades. I always get it. I personally. Hey.
Bob FM plays it all the time.
Bob FM plays Ace of
all
Spades
the time.
Okay. Well,
really?
There you have it.
Yes.
That's something. I mean,
they play everything.
Bob FM down in the old Nolland. So I mean, there might be two good radio stations in this whole freaking city. You would think it would be better than that, but it's sad.
Bob FM is there's a whole bunch. That's a franchise,
and they play everything.
They play literally everything. They'll play that, then they'll play Barry Manilow.
Yeah, they will.
Well, I remember Bob FM from Pittsburgh. I'm not that far removed.
Okay,
but I mean, it's that fact where there's not a Bob FM in New Orleans. So I'm thinking to myself, shit, I wish I had a Bob FM so I could hear Ace of Spades.
That was something. That was a radio station that I thought was kind of cool. Just for the fact that you could every song was a non sequitur.
I always win concert tickets on that one.
I mean, they'll play Sad But True by Metallica, then they'll play Achy Breaky Heart.
Yeah, it's so odd.
You're just it's not good for people who have schizophrenia.
It's wait, what just happened?
No, so
what's going on?
I'm gonna go with Lily.
If they had a station called Keith FM, that would be
Keith FM. That's what this is. I'm gonna throw one out there that is a personal, just total hatred I have. I want to smash the radio when this comes on. I don't know how much is played lately because again I don't listen to broadcast radio right now. But back in the day when this came out, it was like people thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I thought it was absolutely horrible. And that was the acoustic version of Layla.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Just absolutely, it's atrocious. That song is one of the great classic rock songs of all time, and it might be on somebody's. It might be on Keith's list or your list. The original might be on one of your lists. You hate songs you feel are tired. But that damn acoustic thing is a complete blasphemy of what Layla was and is. And Eric Clapton should be just knocked upside his brain for doing that to that song. Just absolutely one of the most horrible things. And it was and then they would tease you, hey, we have some Layla coming up by Clapton. I'm like, yeah. And then it was do 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 do. I was like, you gotta be kidding! This is not Layla. This is bullshit.
Right.
Bullshit.
Well, all in all, you know how many times that song, acoustic or not, has been played on the radio and TV?
What song?
Layla. 6 million.
It's a 6 million times song that wants a 6 million freaking knives to my brain. That is awful.
That all?
Horrible. Shame on you, Eric Clapton. You should be embarrassed.
Oh, please. He's crying his eyes out on his
I've always
tracks.
liked the I guess we'll call it a standard, more electric version. I think the piano breakdown in the middle is awesome. I think it is a great classic rock song. I'm not a big Clapton fan. I liked him work with Cream. I thought they were great together. A little volatile. Obviously, it didn't last long. But yeah, that version, I personally don't have it on my list. I have so many that I'm like, I can't think of them all.
Well, speaking of Keith's list, what's on your list, brother?
This is one of the great bands of all time, I guess. I mean, I'm not a huge, once again, I'm not a huge fan of this band. I mean, I'll take it or leave it. I mean, they've had some good stuff early on, but if I got to friggin' hear "Start Me Up" by the Stones one more time, I'm gonna gargle with glass, man. You know, it's just a song that I think gets beat to shit. I mean, they should play some more like old Stones. And granted, this is like Stones from the '80s, but I mean, they wrote other songs. I mean, a lot more songs. So that's kind of one of the things where "Start Me Up" is not a real popular pick in my opinion, but it seems the one that, especially down here, that's all I hear.
Really? It's big down there?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to harp on it. I'm gonna say Satisfaction is on.
That's the one I have
like,
too.
Oh,
That's another one. I mean, to be honest, I could easily trade that for Brown Sugar. I think Brown Sugar's a killing song.
Yeah, it's a great song. The thing about Satisfaction is it is one of the most important songs in rock. It introduced the fuzz tone. It put the Stones on the map as a real rock and roll band. And I mean, it's as important to rock as like Johnny Be Good or like one of those, Rock Around the Clock,
right,
or Heartbreak Hotel. It's an amazing track, but we're kind of over it. Radio, we're kind of over it. Lily, what you got?
Next on my list is "Don't Stop Believin'" by Journey, obviously. Again, one of their signature songs. It's considered to be the perfect rock song. It's their anthem, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Sopranos, for resuscitating that for everyone
Glee.
again. And Glee for doing it, too, because now everybody who didn't know this song now loves this song and wants to hear it all the time. And this seems to be the one that the radio plays
it is
all
a
the time.
great song.
None of these songs are bad that we're saying. It's
it's a great song, but that's what happens. It just
Right.
gets like some of these songs, and Keith, you there? Okay. Some of these songs were revived by that video. Remember that video game that was popular in the early 2000s? What was it called? Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero.
Yeah, I have all the copies.
So a lot of the songs and some of the songs on my list were definitely revived because of that. And I think it's cool that younger kids, were introduced to rock, and I respect all that.
Which is fine.
I give the devil his due. But really, there's other songs.
Yeah, and well, Steve Perry was a little bit hesitant on even allowing the Sopranos to use that at first, but I mean, money. I get it.
Yeah, but then money, exactly.
Money. I mean, what's he doing now? Nothing.
Well, yeah, he won't perform. And
he says his voice isn't what it used to be.
Right.
He did put out a solo album last year.
Yeah.
I never heard it. But
yeah, he put it out and then kind of went back. Back
to the shadows.
Back to the shadows. Neil Schon.
He's always been a very reclusive guy, but I mean, it would kill a probably radio station to play like something cool like "Hopelessly in Love" or "Stone in Love" or anything with love. I mean, that's just one of those. It's almost like Air Supply. Whenever he got him songs like, I'm all out of love. Hey, baby, I want your love. Hey, let's get some love. Hey, what about this love?
Love gun.
Let it go,
All the
man.
love.
We know you're in love. It's cool.
You're in Love by Rat.
I'm just talking about certain bands just go too far with the love thing. I mean, my God, we know. We get it.
Well, honestly, dude, right now, I think it would be kind of refreshing if like a rock band put out a song about love, because like rock music has gotten so like, it's kind of weird. It's like
It's so skewed.
Yeah, it's like socio-political and everything, and like what happened to like songs about taking a girl out?
Party time.
Out of the car, long hair.
What happened to sex, drugs, and rock and roll?
Yeah.
I missed that.
I think that I think that radio. There's a lot of things that hurt rock. Radio overplaying the songs we're talking about, but I think that this sort of like forgetting about what made rock great in the first place was doing all the stuff your parents didn't want you to do.
Right.
That's what made it awesome. That's why.
And that's why everybody listened to it.
It was like a code. You know what I mean? You would hear a rock song and you'd go, yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more, say no more. Speaking of a code, this song I'm going to mention. Now, look, this guy is a beloved singer-songwriter, and I think all of us here respect this guy. And this guy just did so much great music, and was such a force in the 80s and a good part of the 90s, and he has passed away, so I don't like to talk ill of the dead, but Mary Jane's Last Dance has gotta go!
Yep.
Gotta go. Yes, I know it's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge about marijuana, but this wasn't the 70s, Tom. We knew when you said Mary Jane, we knew exactly what you're talking about. It wasn't a big secret. And in any case, I mean, it's Tom Petty, and I hate to knock the dude, but radio, gee whiz.
Why are you overplaying that
my
song?
God. You got any Tom Petty on your list, Keith?
Dude, I think they play Free Falling more than that, and that's just
Okay,
that's running down a dream's another
Don't
one.
Come Around Here No More.
I'd put those three on there. I like Don't Come Around.
I love that song, and I love the video, but
It's a Bob FM, I bet, plays that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
that's-
I mean,
you listen to
the
Bob FM,
video-
that's your problem.
I get free tickets.
I think that the video for "Don't Come Around Here No More" is pretty awesome.
Well,
But,
I love
man,
Alice in Wonderland, so that is like my
Yeah.
favorite music video.
That's a very cool video. Sometimes the videos are actually better than the song. It's just one of them things. But I mean, I think Tom Petty had 3 or 4 songs that I think get played. Like "Refugee" is a cool song, but it gets played too much. I think off "Full Moon Fever," I think you got "Running Down a Dream." I mean, that's it's "Free Falling," shit like that stuff off his solo albums. I think that are like they're good. They still sound like him, but they get played too much. I mean, I'd rather hear something like off Wildflowers, like "Cabin Down Below," or something a little heavier, a little grittier. That's my favorite Petty album. That's why I keep knocking that one. But it's I'll always pimp that one. That's the best Tom Petty album ever, is Wildflowers.
And there you have it.
And boom goes
But I
Dynamite.
digress.
Go pick somebody else too. I threw Tom Petty at you, but give us somebody else. Give us.
All right, I'm going to go with the. You talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Talking
I'm
to
talking
you.
to you.
Hey,
He's looking
you must
at
be
you.
talking to me because there's nobody else here. I'm going to go with the Prince of Darkness. I mean, the metal legend, Ozzy Osbourne, a Crazy Train needs to go, man. I mean,
Yes.
like I said, once again,
Thank
that
you.
shit has to be on if that's not on your list, I mean, you might want to go get the head looked at, because that song is played way too much, man.
I love Crazy Train, and
I mean, it's for a guitar player. It's a metal anthem. It's a great solo. Randy Rhoads is a effing master. At the metal playing. I mean, he's a great guitar player. I think Ozzy's great. I mean, I love Black Sabbath. They're awesome. But it's just the fact where that song is it's beat down, man. I mean, it's basically somebody took a club and just hammered it into the ground. I can't take it
Okay,
anymore.
let me just say that this goes in a category of like, I totally agree with you. But just personally, I still get a kick out of Crazy Train. I just still do. But I understand. And I get it. I totally get it too. And I have to admit that, yeah, it does not have the same hold over me that it did when I was 13. It does not. So let's just so definitely agree with you, but just for me personally, I'm not as sick of it as others. Let's just leave it at that. Lily, V6, what do you got next for me?
I love this band, and I do love this song.
I love this.
But
band.
I am so sick of this song right now. It's Africa by Toto. It's got 42 people covering it. I hear it all the time. I hear it everywhere. No matter where I'm at, I hear it. Restaurants, concerts, amusement parks, the radio. I'm just sick of hearing this song. It was immediately popular when it came out. Still popular to this day thanks to other people covering it. I just am over it. Great band, though. So,
wow.
I'm over it.
I thought you were going to mention something else. We'll get to a little bit later on. What I want to touch on, and if you don't mind, could you take a look on the internet and see who maybe has chimed in? We're going to do some shout outs in a minute. But I sent out an email yesterday to get people psyched up about the podcast, and I specifically talked about this song. I was a huge Dire Straits fan. I love that band. I have several of their records on vinyl. Love Over Gold and Live Alchemy are like absolute masterpiece records, just amazing records. And I heard that their new record was coming out. It was going to be called Brothers in Arms.
I have it.
And Money for Nothing happened.
It sure did.
And that is, when I heard that guitar riff, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And it was 8 minutes and the radio played it. And they had it, speaking about videos on MTV, that video was really groundbreaking. People had never really seen that kind of digital animation, and everybody was into it. I had gone to school for computers and electronics, and we watched the video and talked about the animation in the class, and everybody was into it. And Sting is on it. Oh my God. And he does that, I want my MTV. And I was like, don't stand so close to me. All that whole thing. And I was totally into it. And then, but that was in June when it came out. By August, September, I was like, I was wearing a little thin because it was everywhere. You could not go anywhere and not hear the song. MTV played it every 30 seconds. It was out, it's a great song, but here we are all these years later, and I really I don't know if you guys noticed, but the verse about the little faggot, they have that, it's actually edited out now.
I know that, yeah.
They take that verse out now. It still doesn't help it. It's like I just can't hear it. I can't hear it. I just can't hear it. And it's Mark Knopfler, who's one of my heroes. I would somebody said what guitar player is really kind of influential? He's on my list, but I'm sorry, Mark, I can't do Money for Nothing ever again. I'm sorry. I know Sting's on, and I love him too, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I got in a fight one time with a guy that I worked with, and he was way older than me, and he was this big guy, and he's like, oh, did you ever hear that song by Dire Straits, Money for Nothing? I was like, of course. He was like, who sings that one part? And I Want My MTV. I was like, that's Sting. I was like, he's the singer from The Police. He was like, I know who Sting is. That's not him. I was like, dude, it's Sting.
Oh my God, it's totally him.
I was like, that's one of my favorite bands
mistaken.
even then. I was like, this is one of my favorite bands and still is to all times. I know that dude when I hear him, and he's like, I'm telling you what, man, I'll kick your ass, this and that. I'm like, bro, calm down. You're gonna have a heart attack, A, and B, it's Sting. And he just wouldn't take, knowledge. I'm not gonna lie to you about it. What am I gonna make up shit and be like, oh yeah, it's just
That's a pretty distinct voice.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those. When Sting chimes in on something,
Yeah.
Real quick bit of trivia about that song. If you look up that album, all the songs are written by Mark Knopfler except for Money for Nothing. It's written by Mark Knopfler and Sting.
Yep.
But Sting did not write the song because he sang I Want My MTV to the tune of Don't Stand So Close to Me. His publishing company sued Mark Knopfler. And Sting was embarrassed. This was a big story, and he was very embarrassed because Mark was his friend, and he felt, oh my God, they're suing my friend. He felt really stupid. So he got with his lawyers, and the money goes back to Dire Straits.
It's so ridiculous that even happened that way.
They had to jiggle it all around so that it would go back because I don't want any money for it. He says Mark was my friend. He's like, we were in the studio
together at the same time.
Can you come and do this thing for me? It would be cool. It'd be funny. They did it as a lark. And it turned into a whole thing. Of course, lawyers got involved and they screwed it all up. But that's just a little trivia about that. Keith the Hawk Hawkins, what do you got, brother?
Yes. I'm going to stay within the Sting vein. And then once again, the Police are one of my top 5 favorite bands, maybe 3 of all time.
What song are you going to say?
But if I have to hear friggin' Every Breath You Take one more time, I'm going to kill somebody.
I love it.
That's on my list, too.
That's such a great band. But there's can we agree on this? Isn't it really annoying when it's a great band like the Police and there's these certain segment of the population that's all they know about this great band.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that
it's-
The one
stupidest,
song.
That's the only song they know. And you're like, and I feel like, you moron. This band is so brilliant, and all you know is Every Breath You Take. Are you guys the same way?
Oh, yeah, no, that makes me crazy.
Well, I remember being in high school, like, I think a senior in high school when Black Album came out. And I got, these kids that never listened to metal in their life are like, oh, man, Metallica's awesome. You hear that song and they're saying, I was like, it's not Metallica. I mean, it is, but it's kind of not their sound if you go back. But you're never going to know that because you're too busy waxing your jock later. But that's a whole other thing. But it's just like, that's the kind of thing where if you get stuck with this whole, like, that's why radio can F up things, because now you have these people that think, oh, Metallica's, that's Enter Sandman, that's like that's their sound. It's like, no, it's effing not, because the sound of Metallica, if you go back, is Puppets and Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning. That's the real Metallica,
right?
Yeah, legit.
Right. I'm gonna amen you on with another example. We could do a whole podcast on this.
We could do that.
Here's a song by a band, and this song is overplayed, and this is a song that everybody thinks that's what this band sounds like. And it's the only song that this band sounds like on the song. And it's More Than Words by Extreme. Right?
Extreme's such a good band.
Extreme is like a groove and rock band with like some
funk and some soul.
Killer like musicians, and the only song anybody knows is More Than Words. Thank you, radio.
It's a total misrepresentation of what their sound is, and I'm not going to fly the flag on this, and this is probably not even on my list, but that happened to a band called Sugar Ray.
Yeah.
Listen to the album that Fly was on. Fly is not the representation of how that rest of that album sounded, because it was heavier, more rocking than that shit. I'm not even a fan of them guys, but at the same time, if you're going to, some DJ somewhere played it, and then all of a sudden they're like being labeled. But then what sucked for them is they had to go and like reduplicate that sound by doing like, whatever the hell else they did after that, which was a bunch of lame shit. So, whatever.
Seeing them live is really fun though, because they go way off of what they do. So that was a cool show.
All right, Lily V6.
Again.
Who let the dogs out, Keith?
Who let the dogs out?
Again, I love this band, and I hate ever mentioning them in a negative way, but Aerosmith's Dream On. Obviously, it was their first single. Obviously, it was a huge hit. It is a great song, but it is completely overplayed. There are actually a lot of Aerosmith songs that are overplayed, but this is the one I'm choosing for the list tonight. Heavy, heavy, heavy radio play on this from the beginning to now.
To this day.
Yeah. And
to this day.
To the day.
I bet
yeah.
DVE played it 3 times today.
I'm sure they did, if not more. If not more. They have hundreds and hundreds of good songs that nobody hears ever. Never hear anything from Honkin' on Bobo, ever. So, yeah, mad about it.
I'd honk on your Bobo
I'll
anytime,
bet he
Day-Day.
would. I'll bet she would.
What a jackass he is.
Yeah, we could put a few Aerosmith songs. I think
There
on
are
the
several
list.
that go on the list, but Dream On's the one I'm picking.
I mean, I think, fortunately, for me, I can just say things, and nobody can punch me through the TV or the actual phone. So, I think that anything after 1979 should not be played by Aerosmith, but that's just my opinion.
I do love a lot of the stuff of Nine Lives. I think Nine Lives is very underrated. And I rarely hear anything from Nine Lives, so I'm not mad about it. But when they did Jaded, that was
We could do
Just Push Play was an awful album. Let's just put it out there.
Was yawn. We could do a record. We could do a podcast on like underheard albums by great bands.
Yeah.
Like bands that put out one record and then everybody loved it, but missed on some record that was very cool. We could do something. We'll have to talk about how exactly it was. I'm going to go with somebody that I know. And you guys are going to be able to guess this in 2 seconds, I'm sure. This is a band Lily loves. This is a band Keith hates. But this song, if I never hear it again, this song is the start, and those of you from Pittsburgh will know what I'm talking about. Michelle plays this at the beginning of the Electric Lunch every day on DVD,
I don't know.
and it's
I know what you're going to say.
Christ's sake.
All night. God never again.
That is the worst, actually. I'm sick of that song. And of course, they end every show with that song.
My God,
I'll even come to their defense that band is legendary. I'm not a fan. That band is legendary to a lot of people. I'm definitely in the minority on this, but that song needs to go. They should play, I'd even take Love Gun or some shit.
Shout It Out Loud is a really hooky song in the same vein. they could replace that with? Like, gee whiz, rock and roll all night. Come on.
I think that to be honest with you, I know the Rock and Roll Night is probably their most popular song, but I think Lick It Up is worse and probably gets a lot of airplay too.
It does. It does even on satellite.
But I like the lyrics to Lick It Up.
So do
a lot
I.
Better.
Oh, you do, because you're just some dude that just likes to lick
I'm
it up.
one of them play voice. I'm an old perv. Deal with it.
This is true.
What do you got, Hawk?
Another great band, little trio from Texas, but goddamn, don't
keep
play
on
this
the
song no
internet.
more. It's
Next,
Legs
next,
by
you go
ZZ
next.
Top. I love early ZZ Top stuff. I think Eliminators screwed their career up. I think they were a killer trio blues band, just coming out swinging from, all the stuff in the 70s. But I can't take Legs. I think that's just commercialized them to the point where it was disgusting. LaGrange is probably a secondary song to that, but if I got to hear Legs one more time, and that's another misrepresentation of a band's sound. If you only heard Legs and you thought ZZ Top sounded like that, then you're high.
Yeah, you would think ZZ Top was like a techno disco band.
Yeah, it's a drum machine. It's bullshit. It's and I mean, it's maybe back in the day when you were a kid and you were watching a video and there's hot chicks and you thought that was cool, but I mean, at the same time, those chicks now are 75 years old and the Legs still sucks my ass. So we're gonna go on.
I think Legs is an awful song. I never liked it when it came out. I kind of disagree with you on that period of ZZ Top because I felt that it introduced them to an audience that may never have really paid attention to them.
I think they were trying to keep up with the times.
Yeah, and I think they found a way.
I understand that, and I think Eliminator is their black album.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we'll leave it at
that. I'm not saying that every song on Eliminator. I can still, I remember working at school rock and teaching songs like, what Give Me All Your Love and stuff
Sharp
like
Dressed
that.
Man,
Their songs are still cool, and I mean, Billy Gibbons is going to be cool no matter what. But at the same time, it's like Legs is just like I said, it is the More Than Words. It is the Enter Sandman of their career, and I think it's a song that like I said, once again, I'm sure they laughed all the way to the bank because Eliminator sold a shit ton of records. So I mean, it's one of them things. And I own it, but at the same time, that's just a song I would never listen to. And radio plays it, especially down here. I hear it at least once a day.
It's awful. I never liked it to begin with. We got some folks hanging out with us online.
We got Joe Freeman. He said radio killed the movie star. We got our super fan Beth. And we've got Chris Thunderwolf. Those are people who are talking right now.
On a Crash McCracken says, Lily, hey, my man Keith. And Michael Morgan, who I have not talked to in forever. How you doing, Mike? It's good to see you, buddy. Want to say hi to all y'all. I think Pittsburgh Kevin is watching on YouTube. He's not allowed on Facebook. Oh, Hal
we got Hal Aaron.
Oh, yeah, what's up? Anyway, so who's next? Lily, go.
Again, a band I love. They have many, many great songs. Pour Some Sugar on Me is not one of those songs.
Oh, yeah.
I am so sick of hearing Pour Some Sugar on Me. Every time I go into a bar, obviously every woman is a stripper when this comes on, or they have the illusion that they can dance. They cannot.
Every woman is
Anyway.
This, you know what, though? It's kind of brilliant that the band, that Def Leppard wrote a song that turns every woman into a stripper.
Literally, it happens. Have you seen this happen at bars?
We did this in the Shelley Duff Band, and it's exactly what happens.
It's a great party
You
song,
play
but
that
it's done.
song, and every girl, it doesn't matter her age, whatever, there'll be a mom and like a little
And then
girl
there's a
there,
pole, and they're on
and
it.
They're think they're strippers.
Like, what about High and Dry?
Absolutely.
Like, what happened to that?
Yeah.
Like, even Foolin', what happened to that song?
It's a great song.
You know what though? I hear it like it's definitely. I mean, they're a great band, but that's definitely not their like swan song tune to me. But I hear Photographs just as much.
Yeah.
Photographs is better. I hear Photographs to me a better song than Pour Some Sugar on Me. I mean, I'd rather just do anything else but listen to Pour Some Sugar on Me. I played it actually in a country band, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But it's one of them songs that just. It'll stand the test of time. I guarantee Pour Some Sugar on Me will be played 50 years from now. But at the same time, it's like they do have way better tunes. You could take you could do like a rock till you drop or any kind of song off of Pyromania. Pyromania is I'm pretty damn close to a masterpiece of a rock record, and it can be any song off Pyromania would kick that song's ass. And I know that Hysteria, to some people, was their like shining moment. I don't even like Hysteria.
That's extremely poppy.
It's okay at best. I think Pyromania is way better, but it's more raw. I even like High and Dry better than Hysteria, but we've But then we've had that discussion before. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm guilty in my 20s of doing that at Matrix, but now I'm like 40, so we're done.
Look, this
you're not 40.
I'm 39.
That's not 40.
It's basically 40.
Don't rush your life, lady.
Yeah. Don't wish your life away, Lily.
I'm basically 40.
I'm gonna. We are kind of running a little. We're down to about the last 15.
What do you mean? I have
16
75 more to go.
I know.
Same.
So what we're gonna
We're gonna
do?
be here till 4 in the morning. Just
So-
everybody buckle in.
So
man.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna take them a few at a time. So everybody give a few when we go around room. So I'm gonna throw a few out right now. Some of these may be on some of your lists too.
Do it.
Speaking of course, I think the sister song to pour some sugar on
I know
me
what you're gonna say.
is "You Shook Me All Night Long" by AC/DC. It's a great song.
for
Don't
sure.
get me wrong. And the guitar solo is really important, and if you're a guitar player, learn that solo. But yeah, I'm so sick of hearing it on the radio. I'm like done with that song. Another song kind of that I will put is a barroom favorite, a DVE favorite. If you guys are from Pittsburgh, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're gonna say.
And this, but again, like Alice in Chains is a great band, but I never need to hear Man in the Box ever again. Great, out of all the songs on our list here, it's like a very serious song. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's dark and everything, but I'm like over "You Shook Me All Night Long" and "Man in the Box." Thank you, Keith.
I mean, I'll totally agree with you. Man, Alice in Chains is a great band. I think they have way more songs, and we're going to way better songs than that. But as you know, commercialized radio is never going to play that kind of stuff. I think if we're going to stay within that Seattle area for a minute, there's "Smells Like Teen Spirit" is just beat to shit and back. I can't take it no more.
Legit.
But I'm a big Dave Grohl fan, but I don't like Nirvana. That's probably my least favorite thing he's ever done. But "Smells Like Teen Spirit," I know it changed the landscape of rock and whatever, but it's it's one of them songs where it's just I just don't want to hear it ever again. Matter of fact, I'm gonna act tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, I'm gonna act like it never was written. So if I ever hear somebody talk about it, I'll be like, "What the hell are you talking about? I don't even know what that song is."
All right, give me another one.
Spoon Man's another one. Soundgarden's amazing. Chris Cornell's one of my top favorite singers of all time. I mean, it's just one of them things. I love their records. I mean, I think that Soundgarden is a band that'll hopefully go down as a great rock and roll band of all time. It's just like they're a great band. I love Chris Cornell. I think the band was cool, but at the same time, Spoon Man is it's a song that I just can't take no more. It's that just if it was up to me, I would never hear that song again too. So,
All right.
matter of fact, that I say starting tomorrow, and there's never going to be another Spoon Man.
No more of that.
What do you got, Lee? Throw a couple out.
I'm going to do "Sweet Caroline" by Neil Diamond. Not only has radio ruined this for me, but sporting events have ruined this for me. Thank you, Pittsburgh, everything. Thank you, Penn State. Thank you, everybody, for ruining that song for me. "Rock You Like a Hurricane," Scorpions. They have far better songs than "Rock You Like a Hurricane." This is another one that's considered to be a signature song, so of course it's played all over the place. MTV had it on heavy rotation as well.
Of course.
And "More Than a Feeling" by Boston.
It's on my list.
It's a great song. Still love the song.
That's on a lot of lists of like most overplayed song of all time is "More Than a Feeling."
Really?
You know that? Yeah.
Well, Guitar Hero. You can thank Guitar Hero for that as well.
That's like on a lot of people's list. A couple.
I'd rather hear that than like Amanda or something. If I hear Amanda,
oh man, it's terrible.
Then you're over
thankfully,
it.
that isn't played that much. I'm going to throw out a couple real quick. I'm going to throw, and Keith, don't be mad, because these are Led Zeppelin songs. But rock and roll, I'm sorry. I know it's Led Zeppelin. I know it's on Zozo. We talked about last week, but I'm really kind of over that song.
They do play that a lot,
and it's really like again like Led Zeppelin has so many great songs. Like we could even it out a little bit, a little less rock and roll, a little bit more some other stuff. And again, I said last week this is a song that I'm personally not all that sick of because.
Dog and the Mighty Zeppelin.
And it's Stairway to Heaven. Again, I understand why folks think that it's like overplayed. I get it. It is. But it's just personally still one of my beloved songs. Go ahead, Keith. What do you got?
I'm about to get a gun out. You're talking shit on the Mighty Zeppelin, but no, I'd rather hear I wish there's a thing here on a rock radio station that which I think New Orleans has two of, but at 7:00 every night they play like a block of Zeppelin tunes, which is actually refreshing because they play stuff that you don't hear. They'll play like The Rover. They'll play Poor Tom. They'll play No Quarter.
Nice.
I mean, the Wonton song, but because sometimes they don't play Stairway to Heaven that much. Because everybody hears it's a song that's everybody's listens. Like, why are you going to play that one again? I can't take it anymore. So, I mean, as you go on, I mean, there's so many great bands. I mean, bands that I love too, like Queen. I mean, if I have to hear, Under Pressure with, Queen and David Bowie, that played too much. Even as I think Bohemian Rhapsody is the greatest pop song I've ever written. Yes, you can quote me on that. It's played a little too much too. But I'll still listen to it. I'll still listen to rock and roll.
I will still car dance to that every time it comes on.
Last one, Lily.
Hotel California.
Yeah, it's on my list too.
I don't really need to talk about that, do I?
No.
Okay.
No, you don't need to talk about Hotel California.
Okay.
And I'm gonna this is a little bit of little bit of different genre, but I'm gonna say the one I love by REM.
Yeah.
Again, it's a song that isn't completely representative of what they do. Number one, it's also a song that the band really hates. They are like, yawn, please. They didn't intend for that to be some big, and everybody thinks it's a love song.
Ooh,
which it is not. It's not a love song.
I've heard Michael Stipe talk about that song. It's like, this song was written completely as an anti-love song, and you're basically thinking that it's something else. I mean, that's kind of one of those things where you could do a whole podcast on songs that are misrepresented by their lyrics, like
Every Breath You Take is the same thing.
Like Every
It's not
Breath
a
You
love
Take
song
is
either,
like
yeah.
about basically voyeurism, if you want to call it that, and just stalking someone, and something like the one I love. But there's a lot of songs that are just misrepresented by the lyrics, which is awesome because it's like it completely fooled people,
Well, I was at a wedding once, and the bride and groom song, the bridal dance song, was Every Breath You Take. And I'm like,
Seriously.
So in a year from
come
now,
on.
he'll be stalking you.
Oh, boy.
oh, crap. So,
Do your research.
do your research, guys. And that's
I
our
can't believe neither one of you had Sweet Child of Mine on there. That shit.
I didn't put it on there.
It is on my list. I just didn't get to it. I was trying to
Yeah.
but that's a good one. I mean, that's
And Paradise City. Jesus Christ.
Paradiso City.
Yeah, there's. I mean, a great rock
Paradiso
record.
Ciudad.
Another one. It's probably a masterpiece, but at the same time, it's like God forbid you would hear it so easy, or a Night Train or something. It's
Night Train's my shit.
a little different.
Let's see.
Rocket Queen would be cool. Nobody plays that.
I love that song.
That's probably one of the better songs on the record. It's the last song on the track, last track on the record. That opening groove. Oh man, sometimes it just takes a. I don't know about you, but sometimes it just takes a drum groove, man.
We had this week. Jason Sapienza said "Running with the Devil." Keith said "Jump is worse."
Jonathan Stanley said "Sweet Child of Mine."
Right. We had some votes for the Hotel California. Brian Ursa says anything by Bruce Springsteen. Keith's pick "Crazy Train" made it on the list. Yeah, and Norman said he's never tired of playing it. Some of these songs are fun to play in a cover band. They're just annoying on the radio, but if people are partying to them and you're playing them in a cover band, you kind of like, oh yeah, everybody's getting into it and it's kind of fun. That's a whole different experience, and that's a different podcast. But
Sharona.
Yeah, so, John
I
Fox
never hear that.
said My Sharona. I mean, that's John's a good dude. He sent me a CD, and we should play it next time. I'll play it because this is not a copyrighted song. We could play it. Won't have any problems. But he sent me a song that he did that is so good. I was like, John, this is freaking amazing. It's so well produced. It's very different than anything that's currently out there, and we will have to play it at some point. But Lily was telling me she did something kind of interesting this week.
I went to Salem, Massachusetts over the weekend for witch stuff, and surprisingly very crowded for a state that's locked down. And I did get turned away from a museum because I was from Pennsylvania, but a lot of fun stuff happened. I went shopping and did...
It's because your governor's an asshole. No, I'm just kidding.
Pretty much. And went to a lot of shops, did a lot of the museums, like the Salem Witch Museum, which was cool, and went to Boston, went to Cheers, which was... not expensive like I thought it was going to be. I had food there. It was great. It was good times. It's in the ritzy neighborhood of Boston.
Did everybody know your name?
A couple people knew my name because I know everybody everywhere. I saw Paul Revere's grave. and John Hancock's grave.
You said cock.
I did. But it was a good time. It was a nice little weekend.
This
fun.
day in rock, speaking of Led Zeppelin, Keith, this was the premiere of Song Remains the Same.
There it is.
Yes.
And this is also the day that we lost Ronnie Van Zant and Steve Gaines and Casey Gaines from Leonard Skinner.
Yep.
The Police made their U.S. debut at CBGB's on this day.
Thank God.
The Eagles started a run at number 1 on the U.S. album chart with The Long Run on this day in 1979.
I like that song.
Wham! Started a 3-week run at number 1 in the UK singles charts with Freedom, the duo's second number 1 song. The song was used in a Japanese commercial for Maxell audio cassettes with altered lyrics.
Quick, name the other person in Wham besides George Michael.
I am
Nope.
Andrew Wrigley.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
a
even know
nerd. I'm a freaking music nerd, sorry.
I call him the other guy.
On this day in 2005, Michael Jackson received a jury summons at his Neverland Ranch in California 4 months after he was acquitted on child molestation charges. Spokesman said it was likely he would be excused from serving due to the fact that he has lived in Bahrain since the trial.
What?
It's just craziness. Poor Mike Jackson. I caught a little bit of the movie.
I saw it all.
A little bit. No, the movie about the one they did out in 2009 where it's about him, like they show him like rehearsing.
Oh, not this 4-hour thing.
No.
Okay.
That was really. It was. I caught a little bit. I had never seen it. I can't remember the name of it. It was highly acclaimed. It was very interesting. Let me see. We got any birthdays today? Oh, Spencer Davis passed away today. We're recording this on
Today?
the 20th. Yeah, Spencer Davis just passed away.
So did Tony Lewis from the outfield.
Wow, that's sad.
And it's Bela Lugosi's birthday. He would be 138 years old, but he was Dracula, so maybe he's still alive. Really?
It's
He
Tom.
was 115 when the first movie came out.
We got to give a shout out to the man that we were sort of ragging on a little earlier, and that was Tom Petty. It is Tom Petty's birthday. Happy birthday to Tom.
Happy
Petty.
birthday, Tom. No, I'm sure you're making wildflowers in heaven.
He's partying with
Or he's
Eddie.
Or he's in the other place.
Tom Petty? Nah.
Rockstars go to heaven.
Why should the devil have all the good music, Keith?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I wanted to talk about something. And Keith, I think that this is something that you could chime in on. There was the guys from what is it? Is it the guitar player or the other singer from Chester Bennington's band?
Linkin Park?
Linkin Park. There was an article today, Loudwire or something, saying that, he felt that the 80s hair music, 80s glam rock was very white. He said it was always white.
I mean,
and people have
you think?
Well, let me finish. People have misconstrued this as a racial comment, but I think I straightened everybody, and you can talk about this too. But right, Keith, as musicians, don't we often like something that's kind of very like kind of plain or whatever? Like, it's not a racial comment when you say something is very white. His playing is very white. That's like a thing that musicians say to each other when somebody's not kind of like really grooving in the pocket or really putting the
what if we say vanilla instead? Would that bother people?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about, Keith. You know funk, right? You know the expression, put some stank on it, right? You know the expression, right? So
yeah.
So I think that that's an expression saying it doesn't have no stank on it. Not so much that it was racial, correct?
Exactly, because you know what? Everybody's wilding too tight nowadays. Take it easy. If everybody would just stop, talking shit, thinking too much, and just start smoking weed more, that'd be all right.
Stop analyzing everything, just calm down and enjoy it for what it is.
Everything's micromanaged. Everything's black and white. It's not all about that. I get along with everybody. I've been around a lot of people, and most people are cool. And the ones that aren't cool, I just stay away from. It's that easy, people. See?
Well, I'll tell you what. I apologize if I was talking a little fast tonight. But Hunter Biden showed up before the podcast, and we hit a little crack pipe. So I apologize. I'm a little wound up, and
You get a little bit of that Ukrainian blood from him. I thought that shit came from Colombia. It don't come from Colombia. Okay, Tony. You gotta go get your cocaine. Go get your yayo, you do.
I'm telling you right now, man, the Ukrainian blow is the best blow.
Wait a minute.
I've heard that. That's they think it's all snow over there. That snow is actually the street value of that snow is ridiculous.
So there's a lot of songs, guys, that are just they're great, right? I mean, we're not really trying to try. Some of these songs we do.
I'm not trashing the songs.
Are good.
They're
just
well, some of the songs
these bands have made a point for
maybe.
themselves. We never even stumbled onto some of the great. People love Pink Floyd, but some of their songs are overplayed comfortably. No,
right?
I mean, but it's just one of the things where it's like, God forbid you would hear something else. I think that every radio station should take even one day a week and just play deep cuts. That would be awesome.
There's a reason why I talked to I have a friend of mine that is worked in radio for many, many years. And this is and so I will kind of explain it to you guys here at the end. The reason why the radio tends to do that is because people find comfort in the familiar.
I get it.
So especially when you have the world situation we have right now, people are less interested in anything new. They kind of want to go back on the stuff that they grew up with, reminds them of good times, etc., etc., etc. And so people kind of latch back onto that as a kind of safety net. So that is the sort of thinking, that is the sort of psychology behind that. And of course, they want to keep people listening because what do they want to do? They want to sell advertising, and if people are listening, they have a better chance of selling advertising. So that is the sort of methodology or thought behind that. And you can't completely fault that as much as you may find it annoying. You can kind of understand it. I miss the era, though, when you had DJs that said, I'm going to play this because you need to hear it. This record came across my desk, and it is so amazing, and you really need to check it out. And we did have DJs like that. Even in my era, when the corporate thing was happening, I remember there was a disc jockey on the rock station in Pittsburgh, WDV. This guy's name was Jack Malloy. And Jack Malloy introduced me to Men at Work. Jack Malloy introduced me to U2. Jack Malloy introduced me to some In Excess. And which weren't bands that were in heavy rotation on DVE, but he played them because he was like, this is like the next up and coming stuff. These are the sounds that that are going to be happening, and he wanted to put that music out. And you may or may not like those bands, but that he was a tastemaker, and I think that is something that is kind of missing and is kind of hurt. Because the corporate radio media has kind of lost its kind of like, what's the grassroots kind of feel? You know what I mean? You don't feel like that's a guy who's like trying to play you something cool because he thinks it's awesome. He's just like, he's handed a list. He's trying to be a loudmouth, so be funny, so you'll keep listening, and that's all he's trying to do.
Yep.
So it's unfortunate, but that's what made room for the internet, right, guys? And us and Rock Rage Radio. And stuff like that.
And I play what I want.
That's right. And speaking of Tom Petty, he has a great song called The Last DJ. So if you've not heard that song by Tom Petty, it wasn't a real big hit, but go check it out because the lyrics to that song say exactly what I just said. Keith, any final thoughts? Anything you want to wrap up with, buddy?
Here's a little serious note. Election day is coming up, but I want you to vote with your head and your heart. But vote for whoever you want to, because it's not me to tell you what it is. But remember, at the end of the day, when a politician laughs, it's only because the devil's tickling his feet. Thank you.
Where do all liars go, Keith?
I'm not tickling anybody's feet.
Washington, D.C. Lily's tickling everybody's feet.
Maybe. No, I don't like feet.
Hey, guys, with regards to it real quick, just listen, vote for whoever you want to, but take it easy on each other. I mean, you guys are maniacs out there on social media throwing all this hate because, your friend likes this guy and you like that guy. Come on!
Don't lose friendships over this.
Dude. Please.
I hate Sleepy Joe. I hate
Kamala Harris. I hate Orange Man bad.
Orange Man bad. Like, people are losing their minds. Relax. Gee whiz. Look, we are all friends. So chill. Lily V.
No, I like Mike Pence. He's fly, man.
On that happy note, I'm sorry. Lily, can you top that?
I cannot, so I'm just going to talk about my show, which is Hot Licks with Lily, 6 Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. Listen for interviews and brand new music coming out soon. So, rockrageradio.com.
Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Please patronize Wolf's Customs. Go to wolfscustoms.online. Ask for Chris Thunderwolf Dotson. Tell him Loudini sent you. Get a custom paint job done on whatever musical instrument you prefer. Keith Hawkins, you good, brother? Keith is good. Keith, he's
Hell
not
yeah! If I was Eddie Better Lou, I wouldn't be able to stand it.
All right, I love it. All right, guys. Lily V6, Keith the Hawk Hawkins. My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini. You can get more information at LouLombardiRocks.com, and we'll catch you guys all on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. All right, Facebook and YouTube, we're saying good night. Good night, sweetheart.
Check this out. I'm going to do every podcast like this now. We're just half a face.
That's it. Do the whole thing, Liz.